Welcome to Matt's Financial Geopolitical from a Frontier. Thank you kindly for stopping by. I'm always grateful. I like this quote. The Trumpian fox has entered the populist henhouse not so much by stealth, but as a result of Middle America's misinterpretation of what will make America great again. The populist sunrise has barely broken the horizon. I think it's going to spread like wildfire, actually. And if you didn't read my piece over the weekend, it was Here Comes President Trump. Donald Trump Jr. tweeted, had a great visit from Floyd Mayweather today with President-elect Trump, one of the best all-time boxing legends. I tweeted earlier this morning in response to Hervé that global expectations are very low and that I think he can surpass those low expectations, and that furthermore there's plenty of strategic ambiguity about Mr. Trump. I think he reminds me of a man who's in the circus and he's in control and he throws some red meat for the lions. So it's not clear to me how this is all going to pan out. In a way, I think its fuzziness gives him a distinct advantage. Home thoughts. I came across this tweet from Nestle, Milo, and really it is a totemic brand, isn't it? I remember Mum giving me Milo in my milk. Dragoman, who've been going for years, because when I was a teenager, I always fancied going on one of their journeys. They go across Africa in a truck. And they tweeted this photograph this morning, Village Life, Samburu, Central Kenya. That took me to Elspeth Huxley, The Flame Trees of Thika. And if you haven't read it, you must. When the present stung her, she sought her antidote in the future, which was as sure to hold achievement as the dying flower to hold the fruit when its petals wither. Like this photograph taken by Karen, the supermoon is seen at the Meru National Park. Isn't it beautiful? This was a moment of magic, revealing to us all for a few moments a hidden world of grace and wonder, beyond the one of which our eyes told us, a world that no words could delineate, as insubstantial as a cloud, as iridescent as a dragonfly, and as innocent as the heart of a rose. Elspeth Huxley again. And my friend Nick was in America and he tweeted this photograph, dusk view from across the Hudson. Trump Tower in Manhattan is where the transition effort is underway. Photograph from Getty. Special report under siege in Mosul, Islamic State turns to executions, paranoia. A few weeks ago, a person inside Mosul began to send text messages to Iraqi military intelligence in Baghdad. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of the Islamic State, has become intemperate, said the early November message written by an informant inside the city, who has contact with the group but is not a member of it. He has cut down on his movements and neglects his appearance, the message read. He lives underground and has tunnels that stretch to different areas. He doesn't sleep without his suicide bomber vest so he can set it off if he's captured. Islamic State relies on a network of child informers, the so-called Ashbal al-Khilafah, or cubs of the Caliphate. These young boys eavesdrop and find out information from other kids about their fathers, brothers, and their activities. In every street there are one or two Asbal al-Khilafah who spy on the adults. So it's a cult, isn't it? We're brainwashing children to that effect. President Obama got a guided Parthenon tour, and I was just thinking, it really feels like it's the end of the Obama era. Obama and Merkel make a joint call for free trade, signaling a pushback against Trump. And I concluded with a tweet, now the hard part, rolling up the red carpet. Social media's globe-shaking power, a New York Times with billions of people glued to Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, Instagram, Twitter, Weibo, and other popular services, social media has become an increasingly powerful cultural and political force, to the point that its effects are now beginning to alter the course of global events. The election of Donald J. Trump is perhaps the starkest illustration yet that across the planet social networks are helping to fundamentally rewire human society. They have subsumed and gutted mainstream media. They have undone traditional political advantages like fundraising and access to advertising, and they are destabilizing and replacing old line institutions and established ways of doing things, including political parties, transnational organizations, and long-standing unspoken social prohibitions against blatant expressions of racism and xenophobia. Wielding previously unthinkable power, resulting in unpredictable, sometimes destabilizing geopolitical spasms. And this is the other point I was making over the weekend. I said this is another important point. Traditional media has lost its position of control. It's been upended by the internet, which has allowed insurgent politics to broadcast over the top. Boris Johnson's approach to Brexit has been ridiculed by European ministers after he told Italy it would have to offer tariff-free trade in order to sell its Prosecco in the United Kingdom. Carlo Calenda, an Italian economics minister, said it was insulting that Johnson had told him during a recent meeting that Italy would grant Britain access to the EU's single market because you don't want to lose Prosecco exports. He basically said, I don't want free movement of people, but I want the single market, he told Bloomberg. I said, no way. He said, you'll sell less Prosecco. I said, okay, you'll sell less fish and chips, but I'll sell less Prosecco to one country, and you'll sell less to 27 countries. Putting things on this level is a bit insulting. Boris Johnson on October the 27th met with His Highness Abi Zayed of the UAE. Put up that photograph. Currency markets, euro dollar 106.90, dollar index ticking back off 14-year high or 13-year high to 100.3. Touched 100.57 overnight, highest since April 2003. The Japanese yen 109.31. Swissy 10013. The pound 124.24. The Aussie is at 0.7473. India rupee 67.885. South Korean won 1177.53. The Rial 345.16. The Egyptian pound 1574.65. And the Rand 14.28. On the 14th of November, prior to that I've been saying, but on the 14th I said higher interest rates are going to propel a big dollar rally from here on in, and it's only just getting going. And you can see that in this chart of the dollar index, which has hit levels not seen since 2003. Bond yields had been climbing. The US 10-year note is currently around 2.2%, having touched a high of 2.3% earlier in the week. And the reason the yen is selling off is because the Bank of Japan is intervening and basically maintaining the 10-year Japanese bond yield at 0%. They've stepped in to reassert control over yields. Dollar yen, have a look at this 1 month chart. We're up at 109.30 now. Pretty dramatic. Euro dollar, I'll put up a 3 month chart. We're at 106.98, going lower. Gold, last trading at 1226.32, seems to be doing a little bit of work around here now. Crude oil, I'll put up a chart that Javier put up after a banner session, the previous session, down 1%, as OPEC starts new talks on oil output cuts without Iraq and Iran. This was a tweet from the Ministry of Petroleum with President Nicolas Maduro meeting with the OPEC Secretary General. Copper futures set a record volume last week. This is positive for Zambia. Prince Al Walid sees the Saudi currency depeg is a last resort. At the end of last year, no forecasters expected the peso to trade above 18 to the dollar, yet the currency has been higher than that level since May. For much of the year, the peso tracked Donald Trump's ups and downs in the polls. Sub-Saharan Africa rights group urges troops for Burundi to prevent genocide. The International Federation for Human Rights, known as FIDH, and Burundian Human Rights League, ITECA, said in a report issued Tuesday that the government's recent break with the international community heralds a new intensification of repression and crimes against citizens who are considered hostile to the regime. The report cited what it calls several dramatic actions by Burundi's government. They include the government's withdrawal from the International Criminal Court, its denunciation of a UN human rights report damning of the regime, its expulsion of the African Union and 3 UN experts, and its suspension of 5 Burundi organizations defending human rights. Put up a photograph of President Pierre Nkurunziza, who was apparently, according to the Burundians, the first head of state to congratulate Trump on his victory. You can see why. Côte d'Ivoire, this is Simone Gbagbo, who is seen as a central figure in her husband Laurent Gbagbo's administration. I like this, a beautiful sunset in Cape Town, South Africa, imaged by Thomas Fromell. South African all shares down 1.36% this year. Dollar Rand is at 14.284 and expected to be weaker. Footage emerges of a massacre of Arba'in marchers in Nigeria. This footage has emerged via Press TV. Nigeria all share down 10.44% this year. The Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index down 15.96% this year. Ethiopia has the worst internet freedom in Africa, according to Quartz Africa. On the 17th of October, I wrote a piece about how Ethiopia's reputation has been shattered by political tensions. Angola's public debt is expected to exceed 70% of GDP by the end of this year. How many Eastern African households can afford a $10,000 house? Something that Afro Data Charts is asking. The yield on Kenya's $2 billion of Eurobonds due 2024 is up 170 basis points to 8.54%. I spoke severally about that window of opportunity that was available to the Republic, which is now shut. Barclays Bank lags rivals as 9-month profit contracts. They reported a contraction of about 5.1%, set aside $3.14 billion for bad credit, 3 times more than the earlier period. Have a look at this. It shows you that Standard Chartered and IMM have been the performers this year at the stock exchange. Everybody else is down. Barclays is down about 35%. National Bank is the worst performing share. That's down. It was down 54%, but got high-ticked yesterday, but still down about 47%. Standard Chartered on Wednesday said it is closing down its Nairobi Shared Services Centre and migrating the unit's functions to Chennai, India. That's a big loss. 350 staff previously. I wrote a piece on the 16th about how the central bank governor is building a robust banking sector. Do take a look. It came under the crossfire on social media today about it. Kenya shilling 101.89. Nairobi all share down 3.87% this year, up 0.7% yesterday. NSE 20 up 0.33% yesterday, but still down 19.01% year to date. Nation Media closed at 97.50, which was a low not seen since 2009. That is down 41.88% this year. Weetabix UK buys out the Manji family from the Kenya unit. It's an interesting development. Stock market yesterday, Safaricom was up 1.23%. Their half-one earnings justify a higher price, and any price correction will be short-lived ahead of a run towards 25 fresh record highs. Scan Group was up to 6.74%. Nation Media down 0.51% at a 2009 low, down 41.88% year to date. Barclays We've already looked at that. Reported earnings, that is down 31.98% on a total return basis this year. Hasn't helped, obviously, the Barclays Africa story. Standard Chartered up 2.7%, banking outlier up 18.41% on a total return basis. Centum reported first half earnings, which were quite strong when you consider that they were lapping an extraordinary one-off gain. Finally, Kengen closed at a 3-week high, rallied over 10% in the last 2 sessions. Once again, thank you for stopping by.